How have you been affected by the Idaho State Legislature?
Everybody in the state of Idaho has been affected by the legislature, whether they realize it or not, from their purposeful inaction to stop mask mandates, jab mandates. They haven't stopped the governor from acting as king. I understand that Lawrence Wasden can't decipher simple constitutional math of 30 days for an emergency, a possible second 30 days. I believe today we're in 723 days or 724 days of an emergency, which basically gives the governor the ability to shut down your non-essential business or to mask school children, or because we've taken $18 billion of federal money, possibly the feds say, well, everyone has to get jabbed. I'm not going to get jabbed. I'm sick of being molested over mask mandates, and you need to be swabbed to come in the hospital to have simple procedures done. My grandkids have had to wear masks in schools. It's a ridiculous process when the legislator of 2 years ago could have stopped this. They simply could have taken away the emergency powers. The governor has to call the legislature into session in 21 days after an emergency period, and he hasn't done that. And the legislature, 55 or 60 of them, make sure that they will not take his kingship powers away. So Idaho, if you don't understand that you now live in an oligarchy, you need to wake up and pay attention, because we're about to lose our state if we don't stop this.
So what's your name and what are you running for?
Lyle Johnstone. I'm running for a House seat 26B, Jerome Lincoln, Blaine County, and it's time for some major changes in Idaho government, legislature, all the way through.
And plug your website.
My website is Lyle4Idaho, Lyle4Idaho.com.
All right, great.
Drop by, take a look at it. Thank you.
Well, I can tell you that I've pulled my children out of school. That's for starters. The higher taxes, the property taxes have gone through the roof. Our water is getting stolen right underneath our noses, and that is everything that the legislator has allowed to happen. Making deals, backdoor deals with big pharma, making backdoor deals with hospitals and big tech, and it has to stop. It's not okay. So we're all going to pay the price. When we're allowing big companies or corporations to come in, not paying taxes and getting a free ride, that money has to come from somewhere, and it comes from the little people. And it's sad. It's sad, and this is a perfect reason why term limits are imperative. We have who I'm running against, Chuck Winder, who's been in there since the 80s. And his score is a big fat F, as you can see up here, F, Chuck Winder. He's pro tempore of the Senate, and he isn't doing what he's in there for. What we voted him in for was for the people. Like I said, high taxes, high rate of people being fired. He should have stopped the mandate. It's unconstitutional. He allowed it. And he lied to the nurses and told them that he would help them, and he did not. He drug his feet and promised them the world and then gave them nothing. And they're all fired. So guess what? Now Bradley Little allows FEMA to come in, which taxpayer money is funding a private corporation to have taxpayer paid employees. Again, that's our tax money going to help a private business. So if they can't make a mandate or make a law or legislation to stop them, but they can then fund them with our tax dollars. It makes you wonder what's really happening, and that needs to stop. And it stops May 17th, and I'm asking everyone to please donate to the campaigns, help everyone out, because May 17th is our day. Thank you.
And how have you been affected by the state of Idaho?
Well, with the lockdown, I guess you call me blessed because my work was considered essential. The governor decided my work was essential, so we didn't have that much of a problem. But I could tell you that in Twin Falls, in our district, we have probably 70% of our small businesses that have not reopened since the lockdown. And in our hospitals, we have probably 80% of them are no longer local nurses that work in our Twin Falls Hospital. And I'm getting phone calls all the time from people who are being harmed from the lockdowns, from the mandates, from the vaccines, from the masks.
Were you a nurse then?
No. I just have a lot of friends that are nurses because in Twin Falls, we're a small area where we know everybody. And so when they realized that I was running, a lot of people are calling and asking me if I can help them. They're losing their jobs.
Let's see. How has it personally affected your family?
Personally, again, we haven't really been personally affected as far as that, the lockdowns and the mandates, because we're self-employed. And we had, again, been chosen to be the essential ones. But as for my family, we haven't really been affected because the governor deemed us essential.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add to it?
I'm running for District 24 against Senator Jim Patrick, and he's a big problem of why we're having problems in Twin Falls, because when the HB 140, which would have helped the nurses in our area and the healthcare workers with the HB 140, when it came over to the Senate, and he's the chairman of that committee, he drored the bill. And no one can get a hold of him, no one can talk to him, he is not representing the people. And then he also, with SB 1136, where it would kind of rein in the governor's executive orders, he voted for that, and he was one of the 5 Republicans that flipped his vote. And so in Twin Falls, we do not have a representative form of government. They are not representing the people. They're not being heard. They're not hearing what they have to say. And I think that's probably the number one thing that I'm hearing from people is they're not being heard by their elected officials. They're not being represented.
So what's your name, and plug your website?
My name is Glenita Zeiderveld, and again, I'm running for District 24, which is Twin Falls County, Gooding, and Camas County for State Senate, and my website is glenita.com, GLENNEDA.